What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Derek, and in today's video we are doing an Ask Me Anything. Recently, over on my Twitter account, I posted a tweet asking, is there something you'd like to hear me talk about, something I can help you with, whether it's a question about streaming, editing, content creation, finances, life, family, etc. Let me know and I'll do a vid response here for y'all. I didn't end up doing a vid response on Twitter. I only got 2 questions, which makes sense because I'm not a huge content creator or YouTuber or anything like that. And so I only got 2 people that responded to me. You know, sometimes I forget and I think that I am, hugely famous, and I see these other creators do an Ask Me Anything. And I think, oh yeah, I'll post one and I'll get like 50 questions to answer for a video. I got 2. So I got 2 different questions, but I thought both of them were really good questions. And I thought instead of just making a quick video response on Twitter, AKA I forgot about it, and then a couple days after I was like, oh, I need to do this, and then I kept putting it off, and now I'm here, and yada yada yada, and so I'm making a YouTube video out of it. So let's roll the intro, and then we're gonna jump into an Ask Me Anything video talking about a couple different questions that was asked. Let's go. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and jump into the questions. The first question came from my good friend Codations, who I sometimes do a podcast with. If you have not listened to the podcast, what are you doing with your life? Find it on YouTube. Just search OMG It's Derek Podcast. It'll come up. Or you can go to my website, omgitsderek.com, and you'll find a link to the podcast there. Anyway, so the first one comes from my co-host from that and good friend Codations. He says, I want to see your OBS setup. How do you organize your scenes/profiles? Sure. Good question. So I talk about doing different profiles and stuff all the time when talking to different people, about content creation and stuff. And I say that OBS actually has a setting, a profile tab up here where you can create different profiles that let you have different scenes and stuff, or different resolutions, or different whatever, so that you can easily switch over. For example, let's say, like in the example of my friend Codations, he streams on YouTube and on Twitch. He doesn't stream to them at the same time. He's not multi-streaming. And when he does stream to them, he has, different layouts, different overlays and things for each different thing, different alerts. In OBS, what you can do is you can have different profiles by clicking up here in profile. And for example, you can see that I have a main profile, and then I have a profile that I use for when I'm streaming to TikTok, which gives me the vertical orientation for things. And then I have different scenes, and I kind of just have everything smushed together, to work for TikTok. And then I have the main profile. I actually don't separate my profiles personally down any further because, like somebody like yourself, Codations, I don't actually stream to different platforms at different times. I just multi-stream, which means everything's set up at the same thing. So the way that I have everything set up is on the left. I have everything set up as scenes for my different scenes, and then I have supports for my different supports. And these actually came like by default. This is the way that this package that I bought, which is like a synthwave package, this is how it came, and then I edited it to my taste. But support stuff is just like the different, like bars that you can use. So like latest subscriber, top donation, latest cheer. Here's one like that, but that has 4 different spots for things. Then you have some that are stacked instead of across, like this that I can use. And so those support things inside of scenes, when you add them, you can actually add scenes inside of a scene now. So you can actually have things like that you would use on multiple things. Like for example, maybe you have a webcam with a border around it and some text on it. You can put all of that just into its own scene. Like I have these pieces here, and then you can simply click on this, click on scene, and you can load these. Again, I label them as support. You can load these support things inside. So like for example, we'll do the stack right inside of your scene, and then you can move that around and control it and put it wherever you want. And then you can just pull that into each thing without having to set that up into each individual scene, if that makes sense. So that's how I have my scene set up. And then I just have the normal. I have a starting screen, I have an ending screen, I have a just chatting screen, which looks like this. And then obviously here in this blank spot is where my camera would be. I use a green screen, as you can see here, most of the time. So, I get green screened out over this. So, this becomes my background. So I like it. I then have an in-game one, which has a Windows capture and a game capture set up. And depending on the game, whether I want to capture my monitor or the actual game window itself, I will just toggle window or game capture mode. And then I have a VR specific one that has like Oculus, Mirror, and Live, which are whether I'm capturing an Oculus game from my Oculus Quest 2, or if I'm capturing from Steam VR. And again, I have all my alerts set up individually for each one of these scenes, which again, you could just have a support scene that has all of yours and then load them in. I didn't do it that way, but that would be the smarter way. I have just a desktop version, which is just of my desktop. My camera and stuff would normally be here like what you're seeing right now, but obviously I have them turned off because I'm doing this video. And then I have the camera only scene, which is what you were seeing at the beginning of this video, which is where I'm green screened out just behind a wooden background. So that's how my stuff is set up inside of OBS. I actually don't use profiles to the extent that you would need to, or that maybe some other people would want to. That is how my OBS is set up. I have in here, you know, my streams activity feed. That's just docs. You can click custom browser docs and you can add in just, you know, individual like pop outs for different things, for chat, for stream elements, and then they'll pop up like this when you add them in, and you can kind of drag them wherever you want. Nowadays, when you log in with a certain account, OBS does a bit of that for you on its own. When you log into Twitch, it pops out your chat, your channel points, and your stream information, and then you can kind of just drag those wherever you want. But outside of that, pretty basic setup, to be honest. I mean, that's how I have it done. That's what I'm doing. And then obviously, you know, inside of each of these things like social media, that's pulling all of the different images. I have things set up in folders and stuff like that, your backgrounds, all of that stuff. So that all fits in there nicely, but that's how I do it. So, and then for the last question, came from my friend Noble, who also a streamer and YouTuber, streams over on YouTube and Twitch and makes YouTube videos. He specifically focuses on indie games. So if you're super into indie games, you should definitely check him out. I will try to remember to throw a link to his channel down in the description below. But Noble asks, I work full-time, third shift. I got a wife and a family, and I grind out YouTube and Twitch. So it's really hard to find time to work out. How do you manage your time? I already know my answer. Just got to get off my ass and do it early morning. Yeah, I mean, that is the answer. You just got to get off your ass and do it, you know, if that's when it fits in your schedule. So for me, what I have to do is I have to come up with ways to make it almost automatic, or come up with ways to kind of trick myself into doing it. Number one, I'm deathly afraid of dying young. So that helps motivate me to work out. And so keeping that fear perpetually in the front of my brain just really allows me to know that, hey, you need to get your fat ass in the gym, because if you're going to overeat and be a fat ass, you at least need to be in like decent shape. So get your ass to the gym. So that helps me out quite a bit. Joking a little bit, but seriously, like, the fact of wanting to be healthy definitely motivates me in terms of like getting in the gym. Like yourself, you know, I work full time. You know, I was working a full-time job when I started content creation. As a lot of people know that watch the channel, that went belly up during COVID. I was with them for like 8 years. Now I'm kind of doing my own thing because I'm still trying to pursue content creation as a career, live streaming as a career, things like that, just making content in general as a career. And so while I'm doing that, now I'm doing DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, all three of those basically as a full-time job. And then I also have a family like yourself, at least work out Monday to Friday. Sometimes I take the weekends off, but even on the weekends, I try to do stuff to be active, like go for the hike with the family, anything like that. So try to give more of an answer that I think will help. Yes, time's busy. Yes, you just got to do it. It's still hard. So a couple tips and tricks. Number one, I try to make things like working out that I sometimes may not want to do, I try to make them fun. And I also am very hard on myself, but I'm also very lenient on myself as well. For example, what I mean by that is I have to work out. That's not an option. I tell myself that. I beat it into my brain. Listen, you have to work out. You have to work out. So then where I be lenient is when I'm having a day where I don't want to work out, instead of just trying to like be a dick to myself continually and say, no, you got to fucking work out. I'll say, okay, what do I feel like doing today? Maybe today I don't want to go to the gym and bust out weights for an hour and really go hardcore. Then I might go for a walk for half an hour. And that's okay, as long as it's occasionally. I've come to find, at least for myself, that I have to be hard on myself, but I have to give myself those breaks once in a while. If I try to go too hard 24/7, I end up just getting pissed off about the whole thing and quitting. So for me, what's worked is giving myself breaks like that. Being super strict with myself, like it's just not an option. You got to find time to work out somewhere, somehow. You got to find the time to do it. It's important. You want to be around for your future. You want to be around for your kids' futures as long as possible. You want to be alive long enough that hopefully they come up with a cure for death by the time it's time for you to die. All that stuff. And so, you know, that's not the option. But where can be the option is maybe I go for a bike ride. Maybe I take out the one wheel for a while. Maybe I go for a walk. Maybe I take the dog to the dog park and not just sit on the bench, but actually walk around with him, play with him. Maybe it's going outside and playing with my kids for the day. But knowing, like, you know, if I'm going to use that as a substitution for exercise, then mentally I had to know that's my exercise for the day. When I say going out to play with my kid, I don't mean just going out and watching my kid play. I mean actively being a part of playing with him for a good solid half an hour, taking him out on his bicycle and jogging next to him as he's pedaling the bike. Things like that where I'm playing with him, but I'm still working out. So I turn that kind of stuff into a workout. Again, occasionally, I still have my routine of go to the gym, 3 times a week, do some weights, 2 other days a week, get some cardio in. I just try to change up how I'm accomplishing those things, if that makes sense. Another tip that I can give you is using like some kind of a to-do list or an app. I like an app. It's called TickTick. What it is it's a to-do app that you can just have stuff on it, like today, schedule shift in DoorDash. Schedule shift for DoorDash at 3 p.m. Pick up Tanner from parents. That's my son. Ellie's band concert. I got Ellie's band concert tonight. Workout. Number one, I have things that repeat every single day on this app, that like workout. I got to work out every day. Apps like that help. What I'll leave you with, the last thing that I'll mention, Noble, is, at least for me, like, you have to kind of walk that line of being super strict with yourself when it comes to time management, but also very forgiving of yourself when the time needs to be. You have to be like your own boss, but also your own cheerleader. And so I say that to say, like, hey, sometimes like your schedule is going to get sometimes there's going to be a day you just don't work out. Sometimes, no matter like all the roadblocks you put in place to try to get you to do something, there's just going to be times you just don't do it. You just don't get done what you said you were going to get done. Obviously, you don't want to ever be a liar to yourself, especially repeatedly. And that's why I'm saying, like, you have to kind of learn when to be gentle with yourself and when not, because, obviously you can be too over gentle to where you're just always forgiving yourself for not getting something done that you need to get done. And that's obviously not a good thing either if you're trying to accomplish things in your life and actually want to do things. But if you're trying to do certain things in your life, like work out, like spend more time with the family, you got to realize that there's never a perfect answer. Sometimes I spend too much time with the family and not enough time doing the work that I need to do. Sometimes I spend too much time buried in the work and not with the family. Sometimes, things pop up to where, like this, the content creation isn't taking off as quickly as I had hoped. And the money that I'd put aside to use to try to get it going is running dry. So now I need to go out and do something like DoorDash to keep income coming in while I continue doing this. Like, you got to be okay with making adjustments. You got to be okay with sometimes missing the mark. Again, you can't allow it to happen too much, but if you are the type of person that is constantly pushing yourself, beating yourself up, then you probably don't do it too often. So I would give the advice to you of, it's okay to miss the mark sometimes. So be easy on yourself would be my last piece of advice when it comes to time management. That's my answer to that. All right. Anyways, love your faces. Hope that helped you out. If you like it around here, I do a lot of game and streaming stuff, life stuff, just whatever I'm interested in. Hit the subscribe button. You won't be disappointed. Oh, also, if you guys want to get your questions answered, I always ask the AMA, like, hey, hit me up with any questions. That always happens over on Twitter. So go to my website, omgitsderek.com. Click the icon for Twitter. Follow me over on Twitter. Might as well follow me everywhere else while you're on the website and be involved. All right. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Later, nerds.